So after Star Trek Las Vegas, we had made plans to go to Mephit for a meet because we had enjoyed it in the past. The last time we went, and a lot of furry cons lately have just been big and busy, and it doesn't really suit us in general as much as it used to. We still enjoy furry. We're still very much, a part of the community. And it was also one of those things where it was just, I was thinking, my partner has limitations. His vision is not super. And, there's also the question of additional, mobility issues, especially when your sight is further diminished by suiting. But I knew and I remembered thinking that the MFF hotel, which usually, or MFM hotel, I should say, which usually is, reasonably small, calm facility. There's not a whole lot of con goers, not a whole lot of foot traffic, a lot of ramps. It was just kind of like perfectly suited for what we needed, not to mention that, contrary to most cons, it's very low key. One of the things that I've noticed about larger cons is that I always kind of feel like, a pressure to be doing something, a pressure to be being somewhere. And with MFM, you never really feel that. It's like a lot of times I wouldn't get to doing anything until, quite some time in the day. But, I didn't feel like I was missing anything or wasting time. I hit all the events I wanted to hit. And, I'll talk about that a little bit as we go. The first thing is that after Star Trek Las Vegas, I was telling our roommate, I really have, it's taking all of my brain focus. I don't really have, I'm not ready to start thinking about the other convention. And then here I was right after getting back from STLV, realizing that we only had 3 weeks before it was time for MFM because it's held traditionally Labor Day weekend. So, with that in mind, we then had to prepare to go to another con 3 weeks after our last one. And for the most part, it wasn't like a lot of preparation. We already had a room secured because of our roommates. Shout out to Seaweed and Timber, who we've known forever and who have usually been really, they've always been really good friends of ours. And it was a pleasure to get to see them again because I had also realized when we were going to this con that we hadn't seen them in close to 5 years. And this was true of most of the people that we saw there. Alex and Tarek and Spectrafox and her group. And, we had, part of that was the pandemic because the pandemic canceled a lot of cons and threw our regular con rotation into a blender. And, we've just been trying to find a rhythm again for cons we like to go to, cons that work for us. And, the last time we went to TFF, it was a different hotel. It was not quite as well suited to FurryCon, at least if you asked me. And it was just a very, it was a good convention, but not a great convention. And there was just a lot of issues for us. But, we had to register at the con, which isn't a problem with MFM because their registration is never really overwhelmed. Not like it is in some of the larger conventions, I suppose, where you spend hours in the reg line. I would say, I'd also like to say that, as mentioned earlier, Timber and Seaweed were gracious to give us room space, because we had talked about rooming with them a while before when we had made plans to go to this convention. And, they were great roommates. They're always fun to be around, and I really enjoyed seeing them again. They were fantastic hosts and fantastic con buddies, and it was a lot of fun. I'd also like to say that I got a new camera right before this convention because after STLV, or at STLV I should say, I realized that the flash wasn't cooperating. I mean, I kind of already knew that it wasn't, but there were several shots that would have been better if the flash had gone off. And unfortunately, traditionally I didn't use the flash because my camera seemed to work very well in low light conditions, but particularly in Vegas you kind of needed a flash. And it was also one of those scenarios where it had a pop-up flash, but the sensor wasn't detecting that the flash was deployed even when it was. So this being the case, I decided to get a Canon Rebel T7, I think it is, a DSLR, and a really nice machine that takes gorgeous photos. So, I've kind of been playing around with it and just taking photos all over the place. I ended up taking about 400 photos at this convention. Strag ended up deleting a lot of the duplicates, but I just wanted to make sure I put this camera through its paces because I wanted to see what it could do, and I wanted to take as many pictures as possible just because, I'm always of the philosophy that you never look back at events and think, damn, I've got too many photos of this great vacation I had. So, you always wish you had more, and I want to make sure that I never have that regret. So I always try and take a lot of pictures, especially with now that I have a camera and the confidence that it will take the pictures that I want. I would like to say that MFM was a very chill convention, that we really enjoyed it. It was nice for us to be able to just kind of relax, suit at our leisure. We had a lot of fun. Suit-wise, I brought Lauren Partial, and I also brought Topaz with me. Initially, I was just going to bring Topaz, but I kind of was like, you know what? I think I can fit at least, Lauren if I do a partial suit, because I didn't want to take more than one action packer. I just wanted to take just one luggage case, and Shrag also decided to suit, much to my pleasure, because he hadn't suited in quite a long time. Last couple of furry cons we went to, he chose not to because one case, in both cases really, it was an unfamiliar hotel and he wasn't confident in his vision. And although, of course, I had promised I would, be his escort as we often do for each other, it wasn't something he was confident in doing, so he didn't. But this con, I was able to convince him, or he just decided to. Either way, I was pleased to see that he was going to do it. So we took a lot of pictures of his suit. And it was just a great convention. Last thing I want to talk about real quick is that the con announced, and apparently they have a thing with rubber duckies or 3D printed ducks or ducks, and they were talking about how they'd hidden like about 200 3D printed ducks throughout the convention. And, even though I wasn't purposely looking for any, I ended up finding two. One of them when I was taking pictures of my teddy bear and his new stuffed chicken, which I have right here. And the other one I found when I was looking at one of the bonsai in the lobby, and it was just sitting there right on the counter. And it was kind of nifty. It's like it's got MFM 3D printed on the inside, which I doubt you might be able to see from this picture. But overall, it was a great con, a great trip, and I really enjoyed it. Well, I guess that's it for now, and I will catch you all with the next vlog. If you like werewolves, check out my book Blue Moon, available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, click the subscribe button and leave a comment below. Catch you later.